Hey friends, in this video we're doing another book review on The Ambassador's Guide to Mormonism. Let's jump in. Now, if you're like me, I study anthropology. I love to learn about other religions, other perspectives, other worldviews and traditions. And so something that I found helpful is having small resources like this that really give me kind of a little launch pad into having those right conversations. Of course, the easiest way to learn about what other people believe is by talking to them and asking them questions. I find that can be helpful to have some little bits of information that help you to ask the right questions, finding what other people believe, what are their core beliefs, what are similarities you might have in what you believe, and what are important differences. This is one of those perfect resources that will do just that. The Ambassador's Guide to Mormonism by Brett Kunkle is roughly 55 pages long. It's 6 chapters plus a little conclusion. Each chapter is about maybe 8 pages long, and as you might see, they're small pages, so it's pretty easy to read. It's going to really just give you some major things to know about Mormonism, why Mormonism and Christianity aren't the same thing, some differences in beliefs, some things that might come up in conversation, helpful questions to ask, questions that might be asked of you, or objections to what you might believe, and some answers. So it's really just a small little resource that'll give you just a taste into these all these different areas that'll help you in your conversations with Mormons. Now, I like to judge books based on two things: the readability and the usability. Now, this book, I'm not gonna lie, it was just a delight to read. It's short, it's straight to the point. It doesn't take you very long to read. It's got lots of great information. It's an enjoyable read because lots of what Brett is doing, he's talking through his experiences, lessons that he's learned, and how you can do better based on what he's learned. So, on readability, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Now, if you know me, I like shorter chapters. I hate to stop in the middle of a chapter, but I literally just I can't read for that long of a time without getting bored or starting to lose focus. So anything between 8 to 12 pages is generally perfect for me. Now, of course, this being an average of 8 pages and the pages being really short because it's a small book, it's just a joy to read. Sometimes I'd read up to 2 chapters in one sitting, and I love that. I love when I finish a chapter, I'm like, I kind of want to read another one. I have time to read another one because I got through it so fast. And so it's a very readable book, and you can finish it in a week. If you read it 6 days in a row, you'll get there, plus the little 3 day conclusion. If you read a chapter a day, then by the seventh day, you'll be reading the conclusion, you're done. But you can definitely finish it before then or after then if you don't want to read it that fast. But the point is, it's easy to read. This is the kind of book that you want if you're not a big reader and it takes you a long time to get through page. It's very short, straight to the point, and just enjoyable to read. So a 5 out of 5 on readability. As far as usability goes, this ultimately comes down to you and your interactions with Mormons. If you don't really interact with Mormons, then it's going to be interesting. It'll help you maybe better understand your faith and how it's different from a Mormon's faith, which of course that's helpful. But it's going to be very usable if you are in contact with Mormons, just by giving you some good questions to ask, some things to know about what they believe and where their worldview and religion comes from, their texts, some things to know about all that, as well as some questions and objections that might be common coming from a Mormon to you as a Christian. So, as far as usability goes, it really comes down to you as an individual person. But I'm just going to say, as far as how it's written toward the people that it's written to, I would give it a 5 out of 5 as well. Just because it really is, it's called the Ambassador's Guide to Mormonism. It's for you as a Christian ambassador. It's going to be a guide to Mormonism, giving you something about what they believe, and really just helping you to interact with Mormons, asking good questions and being ready to answer questions that they might ask of you. Really just bringing more clarity to the conversation. I think that's ultimately the goal of this book by Brett Kunkle. He wants to bring clarity to these conversations to really identify the difference between Mormonism and mainstream Christianity and Orthodoxy, and bring clarity to questions that might come up and nuances that might arise, just so that you can navigate this together and have more of a fruitful conversation, finding common ground that certainly exists, but also identifying important differences that are very important. So I would give it a 5 out of 5 on usability. Now, I don't often rate books uh, as a 10 out of 10, but really, this book being so short and yet so well written to be practical, I'm going to give the Ambassador's Guide to Mormonism a 10 out of 10. Once again, it's about 60 pages. It's got 6 chapters plus a conclusion, so it's very short, very easy to read, straight to the point, and very practical. So I am going to give The Ambassador's Guide to Mormonism by Brett Kunkle a 10 out of 10. I recommend it to anyone who first just wants to learn more about other religions and worldviews. It's going to help you better understand Mormonism, which can be complicated for some of us to kind of wrestle with and understand it due to many similarities in names and titles and other things. But also, it's just very practical for someone who wants to interact with Mormons. Some good things to know, some good tips, some good questions to ask, and some good things to know as others might ask you questions about what you believe and why you believe it. So I highly recommend this book. It's a joy to read. I definitely recommend that you pick it up. You can find it on Amazon. It's very inexpensive. I'll leave a link down below. But definitely recommend that you go and pick up The Ambassador's Guide to Mormonism by Brett Kunkle. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more book reviews like this coming up in the future, then definitely subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.